Welcome everybody to Fayette Centric. This is episode 3. We are focusing on the good things happening in Fayette County, including some of the events, the people, places, and organizations, both profit and nonprofit, who make things happen in Fayette County. I want to thank the sponsor, Ford of Uniontown. Not only are they my sponsor, I actually drive a Ford from Ford of Uniontown. So if you're in the market for a new or used car, go see my friends up on the hill. And today we have one of those organizations coming in. This is a special event that makes things happen in the animal world. And I want to welcome Keeley Forestell from Fayette Friends of Animals.
Hello.
Thank
you very much for having us.
Good, great to see you.
Yes.
And as a additional benefit today, we're going to meet some friends, aren't we?
Yes. We have a cat and a dog with us today.
All right, and they're both very cute. The cat doesn't really like me that much, but we're working on it.
I think the cat just doesn't like the environment.
Yeah.
It's not you.
I'm sure. So as a lot of people know, I'm a cat dad. I do the whole thing where my daughter growing up would rescue cats in Dunbar and try to rehome them, and so she would, if the cat was cute and cuddly and or a kitten, that was really easy to do. The cats that were older were a little more of a struggle, so typically we kept those cats.
Yeah.
And so
easy to keep the cats.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah. So we've been doing this as a family for many years, and so talk a little bit about the history of Fayette Friends of Animals.
Yes, I will. And I'll say, thank goodness for people like you. There's so many people who are out there doing this kind of independent help for caring for the cat population. We have definitely an overpopulation of cats and dogs, and it takes a village, and we've got the village of people in Fayette County who love animals and step in and take care of them and help reduce the burden. So couldn't do it without them. So I'll tell you a little bit about the history of Fayette Friends of Animals. So we're about 28 years old. Okay. And we have existed in our current building for over 20 years. Fayette Friends of Animals was founded by a group of women who really saw a need that wasn't being met, and they came together and really tried to come up with a solution. So about 20 years ago, they found this building in Manellan Township, and it was an old butcher shop, an old meat packing plant. And so they, came together. It was the community effort. People really, did their part to create what we have today, which is, an animal shelter. It's not a modern shelter. It's definitely like an older style. We know that there's a lot of materials and space designations and setup that really helps the animals and the people do well in animal shelters. So we're kind of working around with what we have to make the most of it, and we've been utilizing the space really well.
So space issues sound like a big issue with Fayette Friends. So what the little I know about even the cats, so when a cat comes in, it can't stay with the other cats. You have to have a space designated, for a cat, right?
That's right. So and because we don't have a vet on site, we also don't have the space for that. We meet with veterinary partners. One of our biggest partners is Point Marion Veterinarian Services, and they really help us out a lot. They provide us with really low cost vet care, and they have been kind of just in the background helping keep things going. But we have to take the cats and and put them in an isolated space until they get the testing that they need to make sure they don't have any communicable disease. And that takes a little bit of time. And then we are able to put them into a general population. So we utilize a community cat room. One of the important things to note is that when we take in cats, we can't take feral cats. So, or community cats that are used to living outdoors and don't have much socialization with people, because it's a little bit torturous to them actually to bring them indoors and try to force them into an indoor lifestyle. So, we do have like kind of some restrictions on the animals that we're able to take in, the cats that we're able to take in.
So we, in part of what we do in Dunbar is we have a cat door. And of course it was really cold this winter, and you're worried about these cats that you see in the neighborhood, some of which have collars, by the way, and so we're not really worried about the ones with the collars. But there is a Dunbar cat that you see all over town. And so we made sure that we had a place outside for him. And then we have a cat door. And so the cats can actually come and go as they please. Of course, my cats didn't want any part of going outdoor.
Oh, that's good.
But even the neighborhood cat that could figure out how to get in, he really didn't want, even as cold as it was, he had the opportunity to come in. And he's like, I'm good.
Yeah, and you really never know with community cat if they're going to be able to adjust to the indoors or not, right? Sometimes they can come in and they're content, and other times it's very they're very distraught when they're kind of forced to be inside. So we are careful in our intakes to make sure that we're able to take all of the cats that we agree to take. So. Yeah. And similarly with the dogs, we have to be careful. We have to make sure the dogs are able to be handled safely. We have to make sure that they're adoptable, because we're not a sanctuary, right? We're a shelter, and our goal is to really get the animals in, vetted, and into homes as quickly as possible. So.
I had a question, and it has slipped my mind, and it just came back, so I'm good.
All right, tell me.
Funding, like where does the majority of your funding come from, and is that always, are you a typical nonprofit where it's always an issue?
It's a hustle, for sure. It is a hustle, and I'll say my background is working in small nonprofit organizations in general. And I have never hustled as hard as I have with Fayette Friends of Animals. And so the majority of our donations are coming from individual contributors. We do have some fundraisers through the year, small fundraisers that bring in, a few $1,000s here and there. But we do raffle tickets and things like that, and I think the community really enjoys that.
Cash basher too.
Yes, but we really rely on individual contributions, and we have in the past year and a half or so started to write some more grants and engage with foundations and some of the other funding resources that are available from some of the larger animal welfare organizations out there, Pet Finder and Best Friends and the ASPCA. They all have grant funds available. So we're working on building those relationships and bringing in some of that funding as well. So it's all private funding. Yes.
So you do what Fayette County does. We have to collaborate with everybody, and part of that is getting out there to meet the people, and so very good. So introduce me to your friend.
Yes. Okay. This is Foxtrot. Foxtrot's resting now. Finally. Oh, hello, Foxtrot. Hello. This is Foxtrot.
This is the cutest little puppy that I've seen in a long time.
Foxtrot is very sweet, very soft. He came from a litter of 8, and he is one of the last 2 to be looking for a home. So he's going to be somebody's perfect dog. I want to take him home, but I don't think it's a good idea. And my husband's going to tell me no. Well, I told him actually, and he just read my message.
My wife is already like, you bring a cat home, like, don't come home if you're bringing a cat home.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But that is one of the cutest dogs. And just so you know, we the office where we film Fayette Centric, everybody was here to meet Foxtrot, and just how cute he is. Look how cute that is. So
he did pull up the carpet over there a little bit, but
that's going to be on.
It's the balance of the universe.
Insurance.
Okay.
Will cover that,
Very good.
I'm not sure about that. I need a new sponsor. I need another sponsor to cover the floor now.
Sorry.
No, that'll work. So, in a typical setting, and I'm probably getting into a little bit of operational stuff, like how many dogs, how many cats are you able to hold out there?
Yeah, so we usually have anywhere between, like, I would say 70 and 80 animals, about a split half and half, half cats, half dogs. We also, we have regularly, especially dogs, in foster care, and then we have a foster to adopt program, but I'll let Luke talk with you a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to like talk a little bit about, where we're hoping to go.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about, because you're telling me the space issues, or do you have any future plans to try to solve that?
Also hustling for that right now. So yes, we know we need a new building. The building we're operating in, like, there is going to be like a limit to how long we can be there. So we're trying to figure out like what's going to work. What is the feasibility of us, building a new shelter, and how big can it be? What materials are we able to afford to use? That kind of thing. So, we're just like actually in the process of doing a feasibility study to learn a little bit more about our funding base and come up with a strategy for bringing in the revenue that we need to build a shelter. We're on 15 and a half acres of property, so we've got that squared away, which is really a huge benefit and very intentional from the beginning. The thought always has been to build a new shelter. We spent the last year and a half really beefing up our operations, developing infrastructure, professionalizing the organization, getting us in a position where we could apply for, funds from the state or federal government so that we can move this forward. Fayette County has a lot of people who are willing to contribute, but it's, we're also going to need some some help from the state. And
it's one thing to get the contribution now, and so a lot of times, you're grateful for that, but you need longevity, and you need to build that kind of into, because we're going to need money to operate this
exactly
in future years as well. So
yeah, and I think one of the good things is that we've been around for so long, so we are starting to receive like some small gifts from people who want to leave a legacy, which has been helpful, and it's actually allowed for us to even consider like this new shelter and feel like we're in a position to, you have to invest a little bit to get to follow the right process, right? To make sure we're doing it the right way, and so. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people who want to contribute and want to support. We have the backing of the community, and now it's really figuring out where all the where we're going to be able to get all of the different sources of funds together and move things forward. So we're excited. It's going to happen if you just keep at things, right? They happen.
How do and people contact you through social media? You have a Facebook site and things like that? Yeah,
we have a Facebook, Instagram. We do have a TikTok page. You could reach us on LinkedIn. We're not super active on LinkedIn right now, but also just visiting our website, you can see in real time the animals that are available for adoption.
Okay.
And you can learn a little bit more about some of our community programs, which we're working on beefing up this year as well. But we do have like a pet pantry. We're working on creating some like voucher-based programs for veterinary support because vetting is so expensive. Just different things that we're working on. Hi, you want to get down? So you can check out our website. It's ffoashelter.org. And you can make a donation on there, learn a little bit more about volunteering. You can, check out all of our adoptable pets, and it'll link you to our social media as well. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So right now we're going to take a very quick break because we have Inky to come up next, and I'm going to talk to Luke, who handles the operations at Fayette Friends of Animals.
Yes.
So we'll be right back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our break is over. Welcome back to Fayette Centric. We have Fayette Friends of Animals in the room, and our sponsor is Fort of Uniontown. And thank you to them for sponsoring Fayette Centric so that we can bring this broadcast to you. So today we have just talked to Keeley on a lot of the happenings at Fayette Friends. Now I'm going to introduce Luke Szymanski, who is in the operations side of things at Fayette Friends of Animals. And welcome, Luke, and thanks for coming. And we have Inky, the cat, an 11-month-old female cat, flying around here somewhere. The term herding cats is appropriate today. So, but we will herd Inky into the conversation here at the end, so you get to meet Inky, and she's on her way back. I can see her now. But Luke, thanks for coming on. I think Fayette Friends does a great thing for Fayette County, the animals in Fayette County, and part of that is your ability to have adoptions and to get animals ready for adoption. So walk us through a little bit of that process and tell us about, how successful you guys have been.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on here. Very grateful to be a part of the podcast. Our adoptions, 2025 was a really great year. We had 554 total adoptions, and it was about a 55% increase from the year before, and it was over 100% increase from 2 years prior. And part of that change was making it more accessible to the community. So they were able to apply for animals and see all the animals we have for adoption on our website. And also websites like Pet Finder, Chewy, and Adopt a Pet. They can see all the animals live in real time. And a big part of helping that growth was even just having a new software. It's called Shelter Love. So when we upload the animals to the software, it automatically puts them on all those websites, where in the past we kind of had to manually, update it and upload it. And they can apply directly for that animal, and then we get the application directly through the software. We can process it, and we'll check for things, like past pet history, whether they rent, and if they do, we just get landlord approval, or if they own, that's no issue. But definitely having a new software and being able to have our animals more accessible online has been a big part of the increase.
Okay, so the online part is give your website again?
ffoashelter.org.
Okay, that's where you go to see the animals and apply for adoption. And but you can also come directly to the shelter as well.
Yeah,
to see
correct.
The animals.
Yeah, so we welcome walk-ins. People are welcome to come in, whether they were looking at a specific animal or if they just weren't sure and kind of wanted to see the animals we have. I mean, sometimes they pick you. Right. You can just see that cat, and sometimes So we have a lot of wonderful, great staff. We have a lot of wonderful, great volunteers. So when you come during our operating hours, a cat attendant can show you all the different cats we have in our open community cat room, or one of the kennel attendants can take you through to see the dogs. And if you're more interested, we're able to take the dog out of the kennel, and you can meet them in our play yard, which is a more kind of neutral environment to see if it's a good compatible match.
Yeah. And so, what is the fee to adopt?
So for puppies, it's $325, and for adult dogs under 6 years, between 6 months and 6 years, it's $300, and then seniors is $175. Kittens is $125, and then 6 months to 6 years, cats is $100, and then seniors, I believe, is $75. Okay. So that helps subsidize some of the vet care, but the amount with spay and neuters and all the treatments they need, it's just a fraction of the cost.
Right, and so as a person who has basically adopted cats for the last 20 years, the vet fees that you guys are putting into this, are that would be what you would do even if you got the cat for free, or pet for free, and you were responsible for it. So, and to go back to what Keeley and I were talking about a little bit was, if that stray that you may take in, you don't know if that cat has, something that is going to affect your other animals. So, you guys are kind of vetting the cat, so to speak, or the pet, so to make sure that they're getting a healthy animal.
Correct. Yeah, all the cats they get FIV, FELV testing before they leave the holding. The dogs get the 40X test before they leave holding to see if they have Lyme disease or some tick-borne illness. They get their sets of vaccines, rabies vaccines, distemper, the feline RCP. So when people come, and microchipped, so when people come to get an animal, the animal's already fixed, they're up to date on vaccinations, and they have a microchip that'll automatically register with them as well.
So we had one of our pets, Homie, decided to skip town. We're not sure exactly where he was, and he was gone for like 7 days. So you're thinking he's gone. He ain't coming back, and you never know. We live in an area where some animals can get into the neighborhood, and you never know. But after that, we started air tagging our and so it was actually pretty funny because we would know that the cat was in the house or the cat wasn't in the house, we could kind of we would know it'd be behind the door and we gotcha. But yeah, so that's one of the things we started to do. None of our animals are tagged, with or chipped. But yeah, that's one of the things that we did. We made sure we had a little air tag. They sell little air tag collars.
Oh, that's a great idea. So you can just see where they are live time right on your phone.
Yeah. So, so Keeley mentioned you have a large amount of volunteers.
Yeah, we have a supportive volunteer base.
Yeah. Definitely. So if somebody wanted to come out to volunteer at Fayette Friends of Animals, what kind of tasks would they be given?
So they're able to sign up at the shelter online, and we get them scheduled with an orientation to kind of show them the basics. And then it depends on what task they're most interested in. We have some volunteers that'll come to just clean, which is a really big help. We have a lot of dog walkers. They'll come just to walk some dogs. And then, we have our cat people as well that will come to help clean the cat area. Or even socializing cats is, as you know, it's a really big part of it. When you get those kittens in, that are young enough to still be worked with, but they haven't seen a lot of people, even just having volunteers come to really interact with them and help them be more adoptable for a home is definitely invaluable. Yeah. And we also always we have a great need for support at events, like fundraisers, if we're having a dine to donate or setting up a table somewhere. Volunteers are always welcome to kind of sign up and help represent the organization.
Yeah. So I have a friend who comes out and walks dogs. So that's a thing too, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Dog walking it's huge, because it's the shelter's more of it's not a home, obviously. So having people come and get the dogs out to go for those walks, it definitely helps their behavior. It helps them show better. It helps them sleep better. So yeah, we're always grateful for dog walkers.
Oh, very cool. And the human gets exercise too.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah. Are there other items that you need, outside of cash donations that you accept that people would be, I know like blankets or towels or anything like that?
Yeah, so we do have a wish list on our website, but we always are looking for, blankets, especially during puppy season. We go through a lot of sheets, a lot of blankets, even like basic cleaners like Odaban. That's a really good cleaner we use for a general population area. It's about $10 at the store for a gallon of the concentrate, and then we're able to dilute it. Anything from paper towels as well. We always appreciate those donations as well. And people can also sign up on the website to donate or even be a shelter guardian, which is a monthly giving program. Even $5 to $10 a month is just really helps our operations so we can, help pay for the support the animals need.
Very good. Anything else you want to bring up as far as the operational side that I haven't asked you about?
Just when we came in, we took a lot. It was a lot of learning at first, and then kind of updating our policies and procedures to align more with modern shelter practice. Where we were able to shorten our quarantine timelines, so there was less of a bottleneck flow inside the shelter while still providing the best capacity of care. So changing some of those policies and trying to increase our vet partnerships has been monumental. Point Marion's definitely our biggest vet supporter. They do a lot of spays and neuters, and we wouldn't be able to do the great work we do for our county and the surrounding counties without their support.
Very good. You think do we have a pet ready to come in? Keeley is bringing in Inky.
Oh, Inky likes me.
Hi, Inky.
Inky likes me. Little squat here.
Hi. So this is Inky. They're about 11 months 11 months old. And they are available at Fayette Friends of Animals. They're in the general cat room, so if you come by, you can meet Inky and all the other wonderful cats and dogs we have as well.
You can hear what's going on behind the scenes, which is really cool. And I'm glad Inky got a little airtime, but I think Inky is good with going away for a little while. Yeah, cats take a lot of time to socialize and get used to you. And I know even some of the neighborhood cats that come by, open the door and boom, they're gone. And then a couple months later, you're able to sit down and pet them and be nice to them. I always say every cat deserves to get a little petted every now and then. So we try to take care of our neighborhood in Dunbar. So, but yeah. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
And this was really cool to meet Inky and Foxtrot, along with Luke and Keeley. Just want to wrap up. This is Fayette Centric, and thank you for joining us. If you can support the Fayette Friends of Animals through a donation or through an adoption, that would be great for our animal friends. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.